Hello students, welcome to today's lecture on theory of machines. In this lecture we will discuss about the analysis of bend and block brakes. This is the part 1 of the lecture. In the first lecture of the brakes, we learned that the radial brakes are classified as bend brake, block brake and bend and block brakes. Thereafter, in next lectures on analysis of brakes, we discussed the analysis of bend brakes and analysis of block brakes in details. We also solved few numerical problems on both bend brake and block brake. In block brake, we saw both single and double block brake. Similarly, in band brake, we discussed simple and differential band brakes. Now in today's lecture, we will learn about the bend and block brake, which is the combination of both bend brake and block brake. So let us see how the bend and block brake looks like. So this is the drum, and this is the lever and the bend, and these are the blocks which are placed in between the band and the drum. As you can see, bend and block brake basically consist of a number of wooden blocks secured inside a flexible steel band. The friction between the blocks and the drum provides braking action. As the brake is pressed, the blocks are pressed against the drum. Two sides of the band become tight and slack as usual. Wooden blocks have a higher coefficient of friction, thus increasing the effectiveness of the brake. Also, such blocks can be easily replaced on being worn out. So let us now derive the equation of braking torque, ratio of tensions and the force applied in case of bend and block brake. Let there be n blocks on the brake. Each block subtend an angle of 2 theta at the center of the drum, as shown here. The friction force on the blocks acts in the direction of rotation of the drum. For clockwise rotation of the drum, the end of the bend attached to A will be the slack side with tension T0, and the end attached to B will be the tight side with tension Tn. Now you might be wondering why we have taken slack side as T0 and tight side as Tn, as we used to take the notations as T1 and T2. Why this Tn? So let us understand this by another figure, which is something like this. Let's see this like a simple band brake having a single block. Then for the given configuration and direction of rotation of the drum, the tension on the slack side is T0 as shown here. Tension on tight side after the first block will be T1. Now let's add the second block. So now the tension between the first and the second block will be T1, and let's take the tension after the second block as T2. Similarly, for third block, tension between the second and third block will be T2, and the tension after the third block, let's take it as T3. So as we go on adding the blocks, this sequence will go on, and so we can say that for the nth block, tension will be Tn. So tension on the tight side with n blocks will be Tn. I hope now you have understood why we have taken Tn as the tight side tension. We have T0 as the tension on the slack side of the band. T1 is the tension on the tight side of the band after one block, and T2 is the tension on tight side of the band after two blocks. Tn is the tension on tight side of the band after nth block. Further, we have mu as the friction coefficient, n is the normal reaction on the block, 2 theta is the angle subtended by each block as shown here. Rd is the radius of the drum, P is the force applied at the end of the lever. Now let's consider one block and see what are the forces acting on it. So let's take this first block out. Each block embraces a short arc on the drum, subtending an angle of 2 theta at the center of the drum. This first block is in equilibrium under the action of following forces. First, there will be a normal reaction of the drum on the block as shown. These two angles will be theta. Next we have the tension T0 on the slack side, tension T1 on the tight side, that is the tension in the bend between the first and second block. And last, there will be a force of friction mu n as shown in figure. As the drum is rotating in the clockwise direction, so the friction force on the drum will be in the anti-clockwise direction. Therefore, the force of friction on the block will be in the clockwise direction. That is, in the direction opposite to the direction of the friction force on drum. This means that friction force on the block will be in the direction of rotation of the drum. Now, having seen the forces on the single block, let's consider the equilibrium of first block and resolve the forces tangentially. Resolving the forces tangentially, we will have T1 cos theta will be equal to T0 cos theta plus mu n, or T1 cos theta minus T0 cos theta will be equal to mu n, or this can be written as T1 minus T0 cos theta is equal to mu n. So this is our equation number 1. Now resolving the forces radially, that is along the direction of the normal reaction. So it will be T1 sin theta plus T0 sin theta will be equal to n, or this can be written as T1 plus T0 sin theta is equal to n. This is our equation number 2. Now dividing the equation number 1 by 2, we will have T1 minus T0 cos theta divided by T1 plus T0 sin theta is equal to mu n upon n. This will give us T1 minus T0 is equal to T1 plus T0 mu tan theta, or this can be written as T1 minus T1 mu tan theta is equal to T0 plus T0 mu tan theta, taking the terms of T1 on one side and T0 on other side. This will further give us T1 into 1 minus mu tan theta is equal to T0 into 1 plus mu tan theta. Now taking T1 and T0 as common, we will have T1 into 1 minus mu tan theta is equal to T0 into 1 plus mu tan theta. This will give us T1 upon T0 is equal to 1 plus mu tan theta divided by 1 minus mu tan theta. Therefore, the ratio of tensions of the first block is given by T1 upon T0 is equal to 1 plus mu tan theta divided by 1 minus mu tan theta. Similarly, ratio of tensions for the second block will be T2 upon T1 is equal to 1 plus mu tan theta divided by 1 minus mu tan theta. Therefore, for nth block, the ratio of tension will be Tn upon Tn minus 1 will be equal to 1 plus mu tan theta divided by 1 minus mu tan theta. Hence, the ratio of tensions in the tight side and the slack sides of the complete bend and block brake can be obtained as Tn upon T0 will be equal to Tn upon Tn minus 1 multiplied by T3 upon T2 into T2 upon T1 into T1 upon T0 and so on. Putting the values of these ratios, we will have Tn upon T0 is equal to 1 plus mu tan theta divided by 1 minus mu tan theta and so on. So this will give us the ratio of tensions for the bend and block brake with n blocks will be Tn upon T0 will be equal to 1 plus mu tan theta divided by 1 minus mu tan theta whole to the power of n. So this is the ratio of tensions for the bend and block brake with n blocks, and the braking torque on the drum will be Tb is equal to Tn minus T0 into R, where R is the effective radius of the bend, that is R is equal to Rd plus T. Rd is the radius of the drum and T is the thickness of the block. So this is how you can calculate the braking torque and the ratio of tensions in the bend and block brake, and also from this equation you can calculate either the coefficient of friction or the angle of contact as desired. Further, P can be calculated by considering the free body diagram of the lever and taking the moments of the forces acting on the lever about the fulcrum. This we have already seen in the previous lectures on band brake, both in case of simple and differential band brake. So using that method, you can calculate the force P that is to be applied at the end of the lever. So this is all for today's lecture. I hope you have understood the construction of band and block brake and the working of band and block brake, and also you have understood the various relations of ratio of tensions and the braking torque. And I hope you will also be able to calculate the applied force P using the method discussed in the band brake lectures. In the second part of this lecture, we will solve some numericals based on band and block brake. In case of any doubt, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.